guys, I'm Katie Burke. I'm a trainer here at Lake Norman. I'm just gonna have a couple questions I'm gonna answer for you guys for the podcast. So one of the questions that I feel like I get a lot is kind of like your burn story. So how did you even come to burn? And it's actually kind of cool that I'm doing the podcast when I am, because it's my, I guess almost 1 year anniversary here at Burn. So I was a former middle school teacher. I had my daughter, she's gonna be 2 next month, and so I quit my job, and I knew I wanted to do something in the fitness industry, and that was the passion of mine. And I had a friend of mine that went to Burn when I lived in Raleigh, and she always talked about it, but I was kind of, stubborn. I'll use the word stubborn. And I was like, oh, I don't need, someone to tell me what to do. I know how to do my own workouts in the gym. And so kind of just like a combination of, everything happening though with COVID and our gym shutting down, and then my transition out of my job, that kind of came back to my brain that my friend was like, oh, I do Burn. And when we moved to Huntersville, she even told me, she's like, oh, the coolest thing is Burn Headquarters is there. You have to go check it out. I know you've done your own thing for forever, but you would love it. And so I actually emailed, before I even walked through the doors, I emailed Ashley Beasley and Ashley Hearn. And I was like, hey guys, I'm looking to be a trainer. I don't even have my CPT yet. Can we just chat and you can tell me about what I need to do to be a Burn trainer? Haven't even taken a Burn class yet. I'll just go ahead and throw that out there. But I wanted to be a Burn trainer. I knew that was kind of like the direction I was going based on what I had heard, what I had seen about Burn. And so they were like, okay, well, why don't you come in and take a camp? Then we'll chat. So a year ago, last week, I actually took my first camp at Burn. It was unfortunately a leg day with Ashley Beasley. And if anybody, and there was wall sits involved too. So if anybody knows Ashley Beasley and a wall sit don't go well, but I did it, I survived, and yet I still wanted to be a trainer. So I met with them afterwards, and we talked about it, and then I actually signed up for the trial, the 4-week trial for $69 that we have also going on right now. And I did that, and I really haven't looked back. And so I actually worked out for that month at Burn while working on getting my CPT, and I passed, and I got my CPT in March of this year, or I guess last year, 2022. I got my CPT, and I became a trainer in March. As soon as I shadowed, before I even had it, I shadowed the week that I was taking my test, and then as soon as I took my test, the next day they had me on the mic and to give it a try. And so that's it's been just taking off from there, nonstop since the moment that I stepped on that floor, both as a member that first little bit, and then as a trainer, and it's just really taken off since then. So that's kind of my Burn story. It's short because I've only been here for such a short period of time, and I didn't start as a member. I had it as the goal of being a trainer, but I think it's been a really cool experience to kind of combine the two and to really see it from now from the member's perspective, because I take camp every day here, and also training multiple times a week. It's just really cool to see kind of the different sides of the whole Burn picture. So, and it's kind of weird because that's my Burn story, and it's well, why Burn? Well, I didn't really have a why until I actually got here and got involved with Burn. And so, but now I know my why for Burn, and I'm super passionate about the why, and I love more than anything, because I came from that whole perspective of me, individual fitness, to now I wouldn't do anything different. I mean, I look forward to coming to Burn every single day, and this is probably one of the best workouts I've ever had in my life, even though I felt like I knew what I was doing and doing such a good job in my own. But now, so that kind of goes into the why Burn was that community, right? That's what we preach all the time, and I didn't know that's what I was missing until I started Burn. And that's been really cool to build that as, like I said, a member and a trainer, because I don't get to take typically I'm an early morning trainer, so I don't really get to take those camps. So I'm more of their trainer perspective, but then I get to take camp with a new set of members at a different time. So I feel like I'm really well-rounded in all of the times that I have here at Burn. And so that community has been really awesome to be a part of. And I feel like Burn it's interesting because it's pushed me out of my comfort zone. I have a new perspective on fitness now, which has been really nice. And I'm doing things that I didn't even realize were, ways to work my muscles, and I didn't do all of these movements before because I either didn't like them, and so I didn't program them into my own workouts, but now I'm being forced to do them, and I'm feeling that strength coming from so many different perspectives, which has been really cool and pushed me, like I said, out of my comfort zone. And I know that's kind of like the buzzwords we say at Burn, right? It's like being pushed out of our comfort zone, that community, but it really is true. And that's why it's part of our mission and our values here. And I've really gotten to see that firsthand throughout this span of this year. So, and another thing that I really like to talk about when people ask me kind of the why Burn, which leads into like another question, is what's Burn done not only for me, but for my family. And I told you guys that I have a 2-year-old, and that was kind of the whole reason why I got started into Burn and fitness anyways. And she comes with me every day, and I call her like the mayor of Childwatch here, because she walks in, and I mean, she's 2, y'all, and she'll go, hi so-and-so, hi so-and-so, and she just like immediately knows everybody, and she loves the staff here at Childwatch. And so it's been really cool to be able to get her involved, because that was part of my hesitation of going back to the gym after I had her, is where is she gonna go? Either my husband's fitness routine was gonna have to suffer, or mine, and I didn't want to jeopardize that when that was like the only thing I felt like I had after quitting my job. And so the fact that I can bring her with me has been a huge part of it. So even though I feel like I've gotten all of this physical and mental and emotional strength, as well as this community, I'm a stay-at-home mom outside of my training, and she really gets that community herself by being able to come here. Like, those are her 45 minutes too to interact and to be social. And so that's something that's really kind of hit me, is not every fitness industry or brand has that built into their community. And so that's been really, really cool to have that, and I don't even have to think about it now. It's just kind of like a natural, she comes with me, and that's been really awesome. And people know her, and people love on her here, and it's been really cool to bring her and to watch her see mom do what she wants to do. And she got to watch me in the athlete games this year, and it was cool because I didn't know how she was going to react. I mean, she was not even 2 yet with all the noise and just the environment. But my husband, who was holding her, said her eyes were glued on you that entire workout, and she was watching you, and she was like, that's my mom. And she's a really good speaker, so she really did say mom. I'm not putting words into my 2-year-old's mouth. But it was cool to see, like, I can be strong and I can show up for her, and she's watching that from the very beginning of her life. And that's the tone I want to set for her. So that's kind of the big impact that it's had on my family. And obviously my mental, my physical, and my emotional health then rolls into my relationships with my husband, my mothering, my friendships. And so I've just really got a lot to thank Burn for, just giving me that boost of confidence that I knew it was always there. Like, I had that strength and I had that willpower to want to be into fitness, but it's been so much more, and it's been more of a drive for me. So that's been really cool. Just to see how much more I have to offer myself in the fitness realm. So that's been really neat. A couple of other things, those are kind of like really deep, and we're going to kind of get back to that in a second, but a couple of other just like questions that I know a lot of trainers get asked are certain things like, what's your favorite protocol? So, which I feel like a lot of people probably are going to disagree with me on this, but I've got two. I like to think of like a cardio protocol and then a strength protocol. I love body weight conditioning. We just had body weight conditioning yesterday, and that's really made me rethink my answer, but I still feel confident about that answer after yesterday's workout. Thank you, Matt Morris. But yeah, so I love body weight conditioning. That's one of my favorite. And then my other strength protocol that I love that I would do over and over again is upper body strength. Again, typically not the answer that a lot of people I feel like are strong about there, but those are two of my favorite protocols. Something else that I get asked is, or one of the questions trainers tend to hear, like, what's your favorite piece of Burn gear? And so I guess I don't have like a piece of clothing that I love, but the Burn gear that I think that I like to wear the most often, that I'm really proud of, is anything that either says like trainer on it or something from the athlete games. So I told you guys I just became a trainer this year. I just became a member of Burn, and I immediately, like, we did the level up games with our athletes here in the gym for our members back in March, and I was like, how do I get to be a part of this? And I remember them telling, like, wait, you gotta hold on, we got one for trainers, wait until August. And so I knew that's what I wanted to do from the very beginning, and I was very blessed to make it to finals this year. And so I got some gear from making it to finals, and I don't see it as more of like, when I wear it, I try not to think of it as more of like kind of being showy about it, but more of like I'm prideful of it because I worked really hard to get there. So, and same with my trainer gear. Like, I love wearing my trainer stuff out in public, not just in the gym, because I like to, it's like a talking point, right? And when people ask me questions like, what do you do for your fitness? You know, and I like to brag on Burn. So it's really cool. Those are kind of the things that I like to wear that I'm more like prideful of. So anything that's my athlete games or my trainer gear, those are kind of the stuff that I really enjoy wearing. I think some other things, I'm trying to think of some other kind of questions that we have. Yes, I'm going to my cheat sheet of notes right there. I trained this morning, so I've been up since 3:45 and it's afternoon. I'm just going ahead and throwing that out there, so I'm allowed to use my notes, y'all. All right. So I think some things that I think we're gonna go, I guess I can go into my morning routine. That's something else I know a lot of burn trainers get asked. So it's funny, my early AM trainers, y'all feel me on this one. So my morning routine is literally, if I'm training that morning in 4:45 camp, my alarm goes off, my feet hit that floor, I'm out the door within 10 minutes. So like 10 minutes, like that's the only time I allow myself. So when you say morning routine, I guess I don't really have any sort of routine. It's more of a survival, get out the door, gotta go set up the gym floor, right? And so I get dressed real quick, I grab my keys, grab my water bottle, I grab something to eat, grab my Celsius, my Alani Nu, something to give me that little extra pep, and then I'm like 10 minutes out the door in my shoes. I always set up beforehand, so I guess it's not like a morning routine as much as it's like a nighttime routine to prepare for the morning so that I can make as little slip-ups as possible and making sure I'm out that door within 10 minutes. So not much of a routine, probably not the healthiest routine either, but you gotta do what you gotta do as a burn trainer. So that's my morning routine. I think something that, kind of like two questions, I'm gonna combine it into one here. I think I've gotten when you can think of best professional, personal advice kind of combined with what you would tell your 18-year-old self, because I obviously, like I told you guys at the very beginning, I was a teacher, right? And I made this huge career shift. I was a math teacher. It's not like I was even a PE teacher before this. And so and that was my goal. When I was 18, I was training to be a teacher, and that's what I thought was gonna be my lifelong career, right? So the best, I guess, advice that you could get is just to keep trusting the process. And that kind of plays into not only your life, but the gym and burn and your goals, right? Because what I was doing at 18 is completely different than what I was doing now. And at 18, I thought I had it all figured out, don't we all? I thought I had it all figured out, and I was gonna be a math teacher. That was gonna be a career-long goal. And now I'm a trainer for Burn, and I wouldn't change anything, but that transition, I had to trust that process, right? That journey, so many different turns, so many ups and downs, and there's so many things that I don't even want to use the word regrets, but I had at the moment what I thought were regrets, and now look where I am. And so when I think back to my 18-year-old self, I'm like, you just gotta believe that everything's happening for a reason. And I think that's the best advice that I've gotten, is just to keep moving forward, keep trusting, and to keep making sure that you're, showing up every day with a purpose, and you're just giving your all wherever you are and doing what makes you happy. Because what I thought was making me happy at 18, totally 180-degree turn right now, and I'm the happiest I've ever been in a career, in my life, and I owe a lot of that to this franchise, to this company, to Burn. So I'm so grateful to be able to talk to you guys about being a trainer, to give you my perspective, to tell you a little bit of insight into me. So really grateful, really thankful. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for the opportunity to get to know me a little bit better and to let me be part of this wonderful Burn Nation. So proud to bleed blue. Let's end with 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.